If you want your videos to look like this, so in today's video I want to share with you guys my step-by-step process of how I color grade this kind of videos for my clients and for myself. Yeah, I'm not a professional colorist, but I want to share with you my way. It's a pretty simple way. Sometimes you keep it simple and not too messy and not too over color grading, and then final result will look much better than sometimes to add too many saturation and too many contrast and stuff, and then it's look immature. But let's dive into the computer and we'll start with the process. Okay, so we're gonna color this shot for the example. It's a glass full of beer from one of my latest projects. Let's do it. But before we start, we need to check the settings, the color settings of the project that I use. We go to color management. And here I use the DaVinci YRGB. For the timeline color space I use the Rec 709A because I use the Mac. And output color space we use same as the timeline. So I start with adding a few nodes, something around 6. And we will give them names. First one gonna be noise reductions, the second one white balance and saturation, the third one gonna be color space transform, number 4 gonna be the curve, 5 we call it a window, and number 6 will be the sharpen. The sharpness we will add after all of the nodes, that it will be applied to all of them. So first thing first, I start with the color space transform. We choose the third node and then we go to effects. I search for color space transform. There you go. Just drag it into the node and then I change the input color space to Sony S-Gamma3 Cine because that's the one I use in my Sony FX3. By the way, I shoot this clip with the Sony FX3, and I use the color space the Sony S-Gamma3 Cine, so that's why I choose this one here. If you use a different camera or a different color space, you need to search it here and that's what you need to choose. So I go with this one, and the input gamma, I will choose the one I use in the Sony FX3. It was the Sony S-Log3. And then you can see that the color space transform bring us the colors from the log footage, like from log to Rec 709. Okay, the second thing I'm gonna do now, I will move to the curve, and then I wanna make sure that I have here the S curve. So I pull down the shadows a little bit and the highlights here. So it's create a little S curve. Try not to make big moves with this one and just see how it feels and if the image become more contrast or no, and the way you like it. Now I will move to the white balance and saturation, and I will add some saturation to the image, a little bit of saturation. Don't need to mess with the white balance here in this image, but I'm gonna add some saturation. Okay, now I'm gonna move to the window. Window is basically like a mask, and I'm gonna choose the circle tool, and I need it for, I want to give to the glass more color and more brightness, but without to affect the other colors of the image. I want to affect just the glass. So the window tools, it's good for if you want to affect just part of the image, not all of it. I want to add some saturation just to the glass and also some gain, the highlights. Something like this. And you can see how it's make the glass and the beer to pop out. We want to make the glass and the product to pop out and to stand out and to look really attractive and shine, you know. So you can see now the before and after of the window tool. It's make a big difference for the product. For the noise reduction, I'm not gonna use noise reduction here, but I always add some node in the beginning for the noise reduction, because if I wanna add a noise reduction to the image, you want to make sure that it's gonna be the first node. But right now I don't really need, so I'm gonna move to the sharpen tool. Just change it here to sharpen. And then I will turn it down a little bit, not too much. If you go with the sharpen tool too much, it's gonna look unnatural and not so professional. So we want to make sure we don't overkill with the sharpen tool. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the result right now. This is the before all of the process, and this is after. And after I've done with the colors, I'm gonna move to the edit window and I'm gonna add some keyframe to the zoom. So just a little zoom in. This is it for today. Simple process of color grading, and I believe that sometimes it's better to keep it simple, and I hope it was helpful. If yes, let me know in the comment, and see you in the next time.